Hi, my name is Sarah. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. I like to talk about books in my basement, and today we're going to talk about what's on my Kindle. In full honesty, I filmed this video last week, and immediately after I filmed it, my Kindle started to die. It gave up. It said, I'm done, you've used and abused me, and I quit. And so I had to get a new Kindle. Did I want to buy a new Kindle? No, I did not. These are expensive, but I did. I got the new 32 gig metallic raspberry. You can't really see it because I have a very pretty artwork on the back, but I got one of the new 12th gen Kindles. It's my intention to keep this Kindle until it dies. I kill my e-readers. Call me the e-reader murderer. I went through 3 Kindle Fire tablets, and then that was my third, possibly fourth Kindle device that I have used and then sent back and said, get it away from me, give me a new one. I use these and they take a beating. But we're going to talk about what's on my Kindle, and I will tell you, there has been some discussions about these devices, the 12th gen. I know people are complaining they're having trouble with them. Mine is great. I'm not having any problems with it. You can see it looks fairly standard, normal, and the shine is very intense, so I'm sorry. I don't have any problems with this. I've had this about 4 or 5 days now, and it's been great. I've enjoyed it. It's very zippy. It's very fast. I wonder if you can hear that. They're probably getting dressed. She's screaming and laughing and playing with my husband. Anyway, it's zippy, it's fast. It is a very clear improvement to me over my last device, which was a 11th generation Paperwhite, and I really like it. Do I recommend getting this one? Maybe not. I get this one just because it's what I'm used to, but if I was getting a Kindle for the first time, I would say get one of the kids Kindles because they're cheaper, or get one of the smaller, cheaper models just to find out if you're going to like it, then use it till it breaks. And if you can afford it, get a bigger, fancier one, because honestly, they are very expensive, I think. But then again, I think $30 is a lot of dollars. So my bar might be lower than yours. Who knows? So what I have on my Kindle, at the top of the list, I am reading, and I'm going to scoot over. I'll try and put covers here. I'm reading currently Upscaled, which is subtitled a cozy comedic dragon fantasy, and I can confirm it is that thing. It has a very T. Kingfisher feel to it. It's an indie published book. It's by Joseph John Lee. It's about a little girl who finds a dragon egg. Finds a dragon egg, and it hatches, and her goal is to throw the little dragon a hatch day party. Everyone else's goal is to keep her away from the Inquisition, who want to find her and kill her dragon friend and possibly put her in jail. It's pretty cute. I really like it. Like I said, T. Kingfisher vibes, very whimsical. Reads middle grade to me, and I'm liking it a lot. Also got, speaking of T. Kingfisher, I have an arc of the new edition of Sword Heart. I have started the indie edition. I'm just going to go ahead and switch to this e-arc. That way, if there's any changes or new contents, I will have read that. This is going to have the really pretty new cover, which I'm looking at my indie edition over there. If I really love it, I might get the new cover. We'll see. We'll see where, budget and things are at, but I do love T. Kingfisher. I collect T. Kingfisher books, so we'll see. But I do have the arc of the new edition of that coming. I have an arc of Richard Swan's new book, Grave Empire. I don't think that one comes out till next year, March or April maybe. I'll try to put the release date on the arcs on here as well. It is, I think, a vampire-esque fantasy. It's set in the style of, it was recommended for fans of Empire the Vampire. Frankly, not for me. I'm not a J. Kristoff fan, but I love vampires, and I love vampires in fantasy. So I said, yes, please. I like Richard Swan, so I'll give it a shot. Once Was Willem by M.R. Carey. This was an author request. I like M.R. Carey a lot. The Girl with All the Gifts is my favorite zombie novel I've ever read. Fantastic book. Fantastic book. I even really liked the movie. So I saw that he had written he or she? I actually don't remember. They had written a new fantasy novel, and I'm down. I think it's slightly horror-esque maybe, and I seem to recall there's something about a forest. I'll link it down below. I have Green Teeth by Molly O'Neill. This one I don't know a lot about. It was a cover and title request. I really enjoy the Green Teeth legend and lore. I just learned about it recently because of D&D, mind you. My so I typically run our D&D games, but we are also going through the Curse of Strahd, and one of our best friends is running that. And so when I learned it was an actual legend, a thing, I was like, oh shit. So I'm very interested in it. I've been like reading and looking at. Direct Descendant. This is by Tanya Huff. I am a longtime fan of Tanya Huff. I read her books when I was in middle school, all through like high school, and up till obviously now. This is I think it was a cozy horror was what I saw listed on it. And it's got a very pretty cover. I quite like it. I think it's got to do with like a bookstore. So this was a author request. I saw Tanya Huff and I said, oh my God, I gotta get back to Tanya Huff. Then let's see. Past that, I have, oh no, there's two more. I have an arc of Glow of the Everflame. It was on my TBR anyway, so I'm going to read that and review that very soon. I have the indie edition upstairs. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I have This Inevitable Ruin, Dungeon Crawler Carl, Book 7. I have the ebook of that. I believe I talked about that in my November releases. It just came out this week. I have all of the Carl books already, and I just wanted to make sure to keep up because I am reading through those. I'm currently what a third of the way through the fourth one, so we're working on it. Once Upon You and Me. This is another arc. This is a romance. This is a age gap romance in which the assistant to a woman is planning a what is it? It's not her wedding. I don't think it's her wedding. I think it's like a company retreat at a place that's owned by her ex-husband, and he starts to catch the feels, which sounds hilarious to me. Hilarious and messy, so I was like, that sounds great. And another Mercedes Lackey arc, I have Miss Amelia's List. This is from her Masters of Magic. I know that's not the actual series name. There's like 18 books in it. She takes different old stories like Sherlock Holmes and Pride and Prejudice and stuff, and she remixes them with elemental magic and dragons and fantasy creatures, what have you. And this one is the newest one. I haven't read them in a very long time, and most of them can be read as standalones. They interconnect, from what I remember. They interconnect loosely, but you can read most of them as standalones. And this one looks to be as much. The one before this was about Annie Oakley, which I think is pretty cool. But this one, I can't remember off the top of my head who this was about. I just saw it and I thought, why not? Let's give it another shot. I am also actively reading Feuds. I'm halfway through that. It's a Mercedes Lackey, again, I'm a fan, anthology of short stories set in Valdemar. She edits these stories that are submitted by other authors and puts them into the collection. I really like them. I loved the last one. I have it on my shelf, and I'm really loving this one as well. We're getting a lot of heralds and companions, and boy, how am I always going to be a horse girl at heart. So the companions tickle my little horse girl button. Road of Bones by Demi Winters, another indie book that was getting a lot of buzz and got picked up. That one was sent to me on an email. Night Strider is a romantasy that came out a month or two ago. I'm behind on that one, and I need to get to it. Cubs and Campfires by Dylan Drakes. This is a romance. A few of my friends here have been reading it, and they really like it. I meant to read it a few months ago for a readathon. I don't remember which one, but it's on here, and I made sure to download it first thing when I got the new Kindle. So I am gonna download. I am gonna read that one very soon. I'll probably read through a couple of my e-arcs and then read that one because I do want to read it. I am very excited. I think it's cute. I think it's like a camp setting romance, and it is an indie one. It's from the Sweet and Stocky series. Sagewood Book 2, Into the Caves. I read the first Sagewood last year. Absolutely loved it. It is basically a LitRPG of Harvest Moon, and this is the second book. In this one, I think he's going to get more into like the cave and mining portion of like the Harvest Moon-esque stuff. Last book, he found the goddess statue in a cave, and I think this kind of focuses in on that. So I'm very excited to see where it goes. An Exile of Water and Gold. This is an indie fantasy by Joshua Walker. I cannot remember much about the premise, but it has been one that for some reason in the back of my brain, I'm like, read that one, read that one, read that one. So it keeps getting downloaded and moved to the top of my list. So I probably should read that one. A Matter of Execution by Nicholas Atwater. This is the husband or partner of Olivia Atwater. I think she wrote this with him. I think it's Olivia and Nicholas Atwater. And it is their new fantasy that they put out. I think it's got something to do with orcs, and I think it sounds great. A cover pickup from KU is A Game of Veils by Eva Chase. I just really love the cover. I think it's a KU pickup. I might have bought it but it's a really pretty cover, and that was really the only reason that I got it. Empire of Shadows is the first Raiders of the Arcana book by Jacqueline Benson. Heather read this and really loved it. She said it gave her Mummy vibes, the movie The Mummy, and I am always looking for the Mummy vibes because that is a classic favorite of mine, many people's, and definitely one of mine. So I grabbed this on a Kindle Daily Deal one day. Forsworn by David Estes. I like David Estes. Don't know how to say that last name. I think this is about paladins. I'm down. The Last Murder at the End of the World. This is by Stuart Turton. I have tried Stuart Turton books in the past, and while I liked the writing, I didn't quite find the premise intriguing. However, this premise is very intriguing. Like, end of the world, people trapped on an island. There's a speculative fantasy bent to it where, like, certain people keep this killer fog away, and then one of those people gets killed, and then the fog's coming, and I don't know. The premise sounded good. I think Books on Lala, Kayla read it, and if I remember right, she liked it. But I think that's where I got it put on my radar from, and I evidently picked it up at some point, because when I was loading this new Kindle up, it was on the list, and I was like, oh, alright, good talk. The Miss Percy guidebooks, I have all 3 of those on here. Those are by Quinby Olson. They're dragon books. They look really cute. They're Victorian dragon books, and if there's something I love, it's that. Give them all to me. I can't really blame the, Natural History of Dragons books, because I've always been down for dragons. If you tell me it's got dragons in it, I'm going to at least try it. I'm going to at least be like, all right, I'll give it to me. I'll at least read the sample. Chances are really good I'm going to wait till it goes on sale, or I'm just going to straight up buy it or put it on my KU TBR to just sit there. Dragons. There's a giant dragon poster on my wall. I play a kobold in D&D. I love dragons. Dragons. Moving on. Speaking of dragons, I also have Wormwood Abbey on here. I can't remember the author of that. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. I know it's on this list. It's very cute. I know she just put out the final book. Also, Victorian dragons. Do we see a theme? Rise of the Living Forge. This is a LitRPG. I do believe this is a reincarnation story where a guy gets reborn as a forge, but I could be wrong. It sounded very cool. My husband actually sent me the link to it and said, this sounds cool. And I was like, it does sound cool. We are in agreement. I'm going to read it. That happens a lot. Shardless by Stephanie Fisher. I have heard many things about this from quite a few YouTubers, booktubers, and it sounds very interesting. It's a romantasy, but it is a more plot-focused romantasy, which is what I prefer. It is about a young woman who doesn't have magic in a society in which magic makes you, like, it gives you your standing and stuff. She doesn't have magic. She doesn't have shard. I think that's what it's called. And she's tasked with something like solving a mystery or fetching someone or something, and she's paired with her nemesis. I think that was the plot. Those tropes really appeal to me, and that is why I have it here. Soul Anchor is another LitRPG that I have. It was very much recommended. The author posted on the LitRPG subreddit about it, and I was intrigued. Buried in Friendship. This one is one of those books that says cozy, and I said thank you. If it's got cozy, cozy's a buzzword for me. This is a Halflings of Small Burrow cozy fantasy. It's about halflings. I love little characters. Oh my god. Again, I play a kobold in D&D. If you tell me a book has like a halfling or a kobold or some sort of small character, Daughter of the Beast, one of my favorite books from last year, has this going for it. I'm going to want to try it. I think that's so cool. You don't see it a lot, if at all, hardly. So, immediate pickup. Quicksilver. I don't think I need to explain this one. It's on everybody's freaking list. So if you read Romantasy, you've heard of Quicksilver. A lot of these are going to be like that. I have Rain and Ruin on here. Another fantasy fantasy romantasy book that's getting a lot of buzz again. I think it actually won or was in SPFBO a few years ago. Superpowers, if you're in the LitRPG scene, you've heard of Superpowers. I read his Roverpowered last month. About a puppy dog, a little corgi, one-eyed corgi who was has super magic. I liked it, so I said I'll pick up his big series about superheroes. I have Assistant to the Villain to try. I'm a little afraid of it, therefore I haven't tried it. It's on my KU list. House of Bane and Blood. I really want to get to that. It's another Romantasy. I have the second Beneath the Dragon Moon Eye. I read the first one of that a couple months ago, really liked it. Book of Azrael, another Romantasy. I've got a lot of Romantasies on here. Amethyst and Alchemy, a rivals to lover cozy romantic fantasy, is one I'm interested in. The main character is an alchemist, I do believe. There are little like gnome spirit dwarves that help her, and there's mining and stuff involved. I think that just sounds so cool. The Cleaners from the Veils universe, Demonic Messes and Other Annoyances. This is a recommendation from Steph over at the Novelty Corner. I adore Steph's channel. Her recommendations are great. So this is one series she really likes. So I have it checked out. The Wraith King, another Romantasy. The cover is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. The Oathsworn Legacy. This one's on SBFBO this year, and I like the idea of it. House of Pounding Hearts. That's the second sequel to the House of Beating Wings, which is sitting right over there. Thrown in the Dark, a Villains and Virtues book. This is supposed to be very funny, and I really love funny banter in my books. Audit Team 6, Dungeon Accountant. This sounds ridiculous. I love the premises of LitRPG books, y'all. They just have some of the coolest premises. This is about a team who audits dungeons. They go in and they're like, not enough monsters. The DM in me is like, this is hysterical. I love it so much. Next thing you know, I'm going to write a D&D campaign with a similar premise. It's great. I cannot wait. Whispers of the Deep. It's a merman. Romance. I gotta try it. Why not? Draw Down the Moon. I've never read a PC Cast book, but I've seen them around. So I thought they've got this new series coming out. I'll try it. Hot and Badgered. I actually think I bought this book for my best friend once as a joke, and she read it. And I never did. So I should read it. It's about badger shifters, honey badger shifters, if I'm remembering right. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. I visited Savannah this summer, and this was referenced a few times by our tour guide, and I am intrigued. I have read it a long time ago, I seem to recall, but that was back in like the gray period where I don't remember a lot of things, so I'm going to try and read it again. And there's more on here, like Devils Kill Devils looks really good by Johnny Copton. I have Hallucinations by Oliver Sacks, which is about hallucinations and what we see and what causes that. It's a nonfiction. I like to check out books that I have in physical form because it's easier for me to read them on Kindle. So I have like Belladonna. I have the new Ruby Dixon Barbarian's Treat. It's a novella in her Ice Planet Barbarian series. Alpha Lover Friend by Drea Anderson, who I really, really enjoy her works. Prelude to Ashes by Thiago Abdallah. I need to read that soon. Let's see what else is on here. There's a bunch more arcs. I have a ton of arcs. I am so behind on so many things. There's another Mercedes Lackey. Wheel of the Many. The Wheel? The Will of the Many. There's a Brandon Sanderson. So, like, we're getting deeper down into it. And this video has been going on for almost 20 minutes. But that's the sort of things that are on my Kindle. And like I said, brief thoughts on the new 12th edition is that it is super zippy. It's much faster than the 11th edition. I really like the way it looks and feels. It is just a hair bigger than the 11th generation. So if you get it, you're going to need a new case, which is a dang shame, but you know, you're gonna need a case. I just got another clear case. My strap, if you use these straps, still fit, so I didn't need to replace that, but the new case is needed. But that's it. That's what's on my Kindle, the updated edition. I will talk to you guys again next time. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what I should look for, if there's anything on KU, if you've got any suggestions, and I will jot those down and give them a shot. Again, thanks for watching, y'all. I'll talk to you again next time. Bye.